When you're ready to build your Diamondback Overdrive or Lux Sport, you can follow these step-by-step instructions to get you on your way. If you've never built a bike before, this may take you up to 60 minutes. If you're handy with tools, probably around 40 to 50 minutes. If you've wrenched a little before, but you've never fully built a bike, expect around 30 to 40 minutes. And if you're an expert mechanic, you'll probably be riding within 10 minutes. Start by making sure you have everything out of the box, including the small parts and tools box and the seat post with the saddle attached. Take all of the packing materials off the bike and be sure to save it along with the box for future shipping needs. With the fork facing forward, make sure the cables aren't twisted around the frame and hang the fork over the edge of the bike box. To install your handlebars, remove the 4 bolts holding the faceplate on, then center your handlebars on the stem with the cables cleanly crossing in front of the bike. Begin threading the bolts back into the faceplate and tighten them just enough to hold the bars in place. Now you can adjust your bars so the brake levers sit at a 45-degree angle. As you do the final tightening of the bolts with an Allen wrench, you'll need to tighten them in a crossing pattern, which will ensure the bolts are equally tightened. The wrench should leave an imprint on your palm when they're tight enough, and there should also be an equal gap between the top and bottom of the faceplate and stem. Next, install your seat post by opening this quick release lever so you can slide the seat post in. Make sure to install it past the minimum insertion line, then close the quick release. The lever will leave an imprint on your palm when it's tight enough. To install your front wheel, it'll probably be easiest to turn your bike upside down. First, you'll need to take the plastic fork block out of the dropouts. There's also a plastic spacer in your disc brakes, which you'll need to pull out before you put the front wheel in. Now insert your front wheel, lining up the disc rotor to slide between both pads of the disc brake. Next, slide the quick release through the hub with one conical spring on each side. Thread the nut onto the other side and begin to tighten it clockwise. When you close the lever, you should encounter tension when the lever is about halfway closed, and when it's fully closed, it will leave an imprint on your palm when it's tight enough. Position the lever so it tucks up near the fork leg. Your pedals are right and left specific, so make sure you have the correct one for each side. The pedals are marked with R and L stickers, and they also have an R or L stamped on the end of the pedal spindle. To install them, the right pedal goes on the same side of the bike as the chain and threads in clockwise, whereas the left pedal goes on the side without the chain and threads in counterclockwise. Thread them in carefully by hand, then tighten them firmly with the pedal wrench. Before you hit the trails, do a quick pre-ride check to make sure your bike is in working order. Do a bolt check on critical areas, like the stem and faceplate bolts, to make sure all of them are still tight. Don't over-tighten them, just check to make sure they aren't loose. Next, double-check your quick releases for proper tightness and position. Try to spin your handlebars side to side while holding the front wheel still with your legs. Then step over the bike and see if you can rotate the bars up or down too. Now you can check both brakes. Squeeze one brake lever at a time and rock your bike back and forth 5 times. Then give the wheels a spin. There shouldn't be any brake rubbing. On the sidewall of the tire, there is a suggested pressure rating. Keeping the correct PSI will lower your chances of getting a flat, and it will make your ride more efficient. Now, check your saddle for the correct height, and you'll want the top of the saddle to be about 2 to 3 inches below the top of your hip. Check to make sure your seat post is tight enough by trying to wiggle the saddle side to side, and if it doesn't move, it's tight enough. Now you're ready to head out for a ride.